Hello, my name is Manuel Cerda, and I'm an inspiring principal. So today I'm going to go ahead and focus on some takeaways from Chapter 6 of Breakthrough Principles by Desiree Aquino and Fenton, focusing on the essential leadership work of planning and operations. So operations may not be the most glamorous part of the job, but they're the foundation that allows the instruction to thrive. This comes from Desiree. So, what am I going to talk about through here? I'm going to talk about why planning and operations matter, four key insights for the chapter, leadership reflection and real world applications, final leadership, and conclusion. So, why does planning and operations matter? Operations keep the school running smoothly, but they also shape the learning experience. Leaders often fail when it ignores systems. When a school leader builds a strong operational system, they remove distractions from the teacher and students, making it possible to maintain focus on learning. So, some of the common consequences of poor operations: lost instructional time due to poor scheduling, delay interventions due to unclear resource process, teacher from inconsistent expectations, and then from the leadership role, how many interruptions in last week were caused by avoidable operational issues? So, insight number one: vision, align, and strategic planning. The main thing is effective principals don't just plan for the day or the week, they develop a long range strategy and ensure that all decisions align to it. And this comes from Aquino. Don't confuse the activity with progress, focus on strategic alignment. Every team has to make sure its instructional, counseling, operationals should be working towards the same school vision. So one of the thing is that we have to make sure that the strategic plan components are there. The 3-year goal, yearly targets, quarterly benchmarks, weekly priorities. So one of the examples can be such: in the school, we're gonna go ahead and talk about a 3-year goal increase of Algebra 1 EOC scores by 25%, and every initiative has to be done. PLC agendas, PD, resource allocation, was it aligned to the goal? So throughout the leadership is you can draw the line from your daily priorities back to your school's mission. Insight number two: PDSA cycles for operational excellence. So this comes from great leaders use data and quick cycle testing to drive operational improvement, just as teachers use formative assessment to improve instruction. So what is the PDSA model? So a plan, do, study, act. For the plan, you have to identify the root issue. For the do, it's implement a small change. For the study, collect and reflect data. For the act, scale, revise. So one of the example is morning tardiness were out of control. As a principal, I'm gonna go ahead and test staggered entry points track to impact over 2 weeks. And this is gonna help me reduce tardiness by 35%. Well, what am I going to use to track this? I'm going to use a stretch spreadsheet from the PDSA cycles and help build a culture of data driving change. So, what daily frustration on campus could you be fixed on a short term cycle? That's the main question you have to ask yourself. So, actually, something about the PDSA cycle, I was able to go through the whole school experience, and PDSA cycles can basically contribute to the school success throughout the process of time. So, we use PDSA cycles for 2 years, and the whole school experience allowed us to really keep track of all that data and see how our emerging bilingual students were able to move on from approaches to masters or approaches to meets, and some of them that did not meet were able to get approaches throughout the cycles. So insight number three: equitable resource allocation. So one of the key things is if everything is a priority, then nothing is. Great principals make hard choices to ensure that research match what student needs, not adult purposes. So don't divide the pie equity, divide equality. So here we're gonna go ahead and align staff, time, materials with student data. We're gonna do EB supports, SPED inclusion. We're gonna go ahead and focus on tier 3 interventions. So an example can be a school use campus data shift for the budget. It can help extra aids for were added to our EL heavy classrooms. We're gonna go ahead and fund what towards school tutoring for struggling math students. Our test scores are gonna rise and discipline referrals are gonna be dropped. So as a leader, we're gonna go ahead and create something transparent with the rubric, basically for our next budget things that we have to talk about. So what is the question from this? So one of the questions is, once your staff has take care of all your spending, would your school values reflect on it? Insight number four: Infrastructure and distributed leadership. So one of the things is you can be operational manager and instructional leader. Great principals build systems and they build people to run. You need to make sure that your master schedule floats correctly, that your SOPs for tech, maintenance, and supplies are done. A train management system has to be put into place, such as your secretary, your AP, your counselors, your lead custodians, and you have to make sure you're predictable, such as making sure your weekly meetings are met, your clear protocols for absence, disciplines, phone calls, and so on and so forth. So, one of the campus thing that I will focus on is basically we're gonna look at our Title One, and then see, does our AP lead the weekly team? So what does that mean? It's basically like a pulse. We have to make sure that they are responsible to make sure that everything such as copy issues, testing prep, freeing the principal to focus on certain walkthroughs or coaching other people that need the help. So then one of the other things is we're gonna go ahead and focus on the students' outcomes from Operation Excellence. So we're gonna focus on our systems to protect instruction. When operations are sustainable, our teachers can plan ahead, our students can feel safe and supported, our admins can focus on the growth, not putting out the fires. So one of the things from this is the strongest schools are basically boring because systems work, transitions are smooth, and expectations are clear. Well, why does this matter? You ask yourself. So it helps our attendance rates improve with consistent follow-up, behavior improve with predictable supervision because everybody is assigned a certain thing. Our academic growth increases with interventions that are time, data, or informed. So basically, through this is throughout my leadership, I think I have learned what strong systems are about to control they're about freedom. When teachers know what to expect and what is expected, they are empowered to teach. And when students enter the calm and structured environment, they are free to focus on the learning that needs to be happening. So, one of the things is, what exactly are we going to focus on? Are we going to focus on the audit of a broken system on the campus, attendance, communication, dusty posts, and so on and so forth? Are we going to focus on our PDSI cycles to test for improvement? Are we going to communicate the results to the team? Are we going to go ahead and start resource equality tracker and discuss what our next leadership meeting is going to be about? So one of the quotes that I really enjoyed from the David Aquino is, "Strong planning and operations don't compete with instruction; they support it, they protect it, and make it possible." Desiree. So basically, is we need to make sure that we focus on the small things. That you make sure you involve all your team members that need to be included in order to make that success happen. If we focus on the small things and make sure that everything has its place and outcome, especially when you give your staff a certain goal that they have to achieve, we have to make sure that everybody understands how effective the role is. We have to make sure that it starts from the bottom, not just from the principal. So we have to make sure we include everyone, such as custodians, attendance officers, instructional aides, teachers, vice principals, support staff, any staff that is involved with your campus. It is important that they have that success and that trust in you to make sure they help create that culture environment, which is going to lead the class, the school to success. Basically, you start from the small things, everything else will be able to build up on its own. So, from this video, I basically thank you for taking your time and paying attention to this video. And I hope you walk away with something that help you strategize to lead a school with a vision, with a purpose, and operational excellence, and make sure that your school follows a path to make sure to build that strong collective contribution together in order to have that success throughout, and make sure that no one can take that away, because as a principal you have to make sure everything is successful and make sure everybody understands their job and opportunity at the campus. Thank you for taking your time. Have a great day.